What's up to all you amazing educators, administrators, counselors, bus drivers? Thank you for what you do for the young people in our country every single day. Next Level Teaching, episode 6. Let's get it. Okay, question number 1. What you got?
Hey Jeremy, I'm Brittany Renew from Tucker Middle School, and I wanted some strategies to help me deal with student interruptions. They're not malicious, but they do happen too often.
Student interruptions. You talking about me now. You know what I'm saying? You talking about me. Okay, so good question. So how do you deal with student interruptions? So I think what we're talking about really is classroom management. You know, how do we take control of our classroom? Because here's the reality. If you don't take control, there are students that's more than willing to take control of your classroom. So what I would suggest you do is at the beginning of the school year is to lay down the ground rules. Now I know some of you might be thinking, hey Jeremy, it's not the beginning of the school year. It's October. Maybe you're watching this video now in November and you might be thinking like, what do I do now? It's okay. You hit that reset button. When them kids come back to school on Monday, you say, hey y'all, guess what? We starting all over again. In the past, I allowed this, I allowed spitballs, I allowed disrespect, I allowed you talking back, I allowed you coming to class late. No more. Congratulations, we about to go to the next level. Like lay down the ground rules and you say, you know what, I only do this and I'm only saying this because I care about y'all and it's my responsibility that you get the absolute best education and experience in my classroom. And in order for that to happen, I need your participation. So we have to decrease the disruptions and we have to raise the awareness of what's happening and take more accountability and we be more structured. So you let them know today's a new day. From here on out, this is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna write you up, warning 1, warning 2, whatever you decide. Principal's office, I'm gonna call your parents, email your parents. It's not because I wanna get you in trouble, it's because I wanna make sure that you get educated. I wanna make sure that you get this insight, this knowledge, so you can grow up and be as amazing as you've been called to be. So I would say set the standard, and whatever rules you set, whatever standards you set, whatever culture you create in your classroom, be consistent with it. So you can't let some students get away with some things, but then you don't want to touch on some. You got to be consistent across the board. And then you praise in public, you reprimand sometimes in privately. So when you have some students who are struggling, you pull them aside. Hey Scooter, hey Claire, hey Sabrina, let's talk. What's going on today? You gave me a hard time. You were very disruptive. That's not cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to help you. You know, I expect better from you. There's a leader inside you. You know, when you cooperate, when you work with me, I can feel a shift in the classroom. There's a lot of power that you hold, but I can't allow this to happen because I believe in you and I'm holding you accountable. I want you to go far, but this is not acceptable. So let me be clear, those teachers who love me back to life, it's not that they were like, oh, Jeremy, and they were loving, they were stern. They gave me a hard time, but I could feel that they cared. And that's the difference. When your heart is in the right place, no matter how many times you gotta have a student leave your class or you report them to the principal's office or you call their parent or you put them in in-school suspension, they know when you do it out of love. So make sure your heart is in the right place and you hold them accountable because you're doing them more harm than good by just letting things slide. All right, so classroom management is key. If you see some things, deal with it, but let them know I'm only doing this because I care about you. I'm only doing this because I care about everyone else in this classroom. And right now you're being disruptive. And here's the reality, my final piece, and I'll leave this one alone. These kids are struggling, they want attention, so they're probably seeking attention from you that they're not getting at home. So find ways to give them positive attention when they do well, and they'll continue to do well. But if they get all your attention and you only pay them mind or attention when they act up, well, they're gonna continue to act up because they want your attention. So you keep speaking life to them, you keep pouring into them, but you hold them accountable, you lay down those ground rules, and I believe you'll really feel a shift take place in your classroom. All right, good question. Question number 2, what you got?
Hello, Jeremy. My name is Mr. Hickerson from Woodland Middle School. I'm an administrator here, and we are so appreciative of your new Next Level Students curriculum book that you've created. This is a curriculum that we've been using here at the school, and it has really definitely been changing lives here at the school. But the question that I have for you today is, as you see with our t-shirt, our theme for this year is the Woodland Middle School Embassy. And what advice could you give to our faculty and staff members and to our students on how important it is for our environment to be conducive to learning?
Okay, hey, great question, Principal Hickerson, man. Thank you for what you all are doing. I'm excited to see you got the curriculum and it's working. That's amazing. Me and my team of educators, we put a lot of work into our next level students' curriculum. So I think, so you want to figure out like, hey, the culture here at our school, how can we make sure that, so our classroom, our school is conducive for learning? I love the fact that y'all's mascot is an embassy. You know what I'm saying? Like when I think of embassy, like the official residence of an ambassador. Like when I think of embassy, I think of almost like a rest haven. So if we're in Kuwait or we're in a different country somewhere and we're in hostile territory, guess what our focus is? We gotta get to the US Embassy, because when we get there, we're there with our people. We feel safe, we feel secure. And so I think that for many of your students, I'm sure you know this, Principal Hickerson, but others might not know it. Other educators might not realize that many of your students, they view your classroom, they view the school as an embassy, as a rest haven, as a safe place, because their community is hostile, the home in which they live in is hostile and toxic. They look forward to coming to school. And so I believe that when they really feel, hey, this is a safe place, hey, we got your back, hey, we care about you, that's when the classroom in your school will be conducive, a good environment, and conducive for learning. I think that's when the students will feel like, I'm safe here. So though we know that a school should feel like an embassy, the kids might not always feel safe. But when we let them know, hey, I'm not asking you to read in front of your peers to embarrass you. I'm asking you to read because I want you to participate. But a lot of students might not want to read in public because they struggle with reading, or they feel like you calling me out, or you trying to play me, so they harden their heart. So I think that as we're intentional to make sure that they know, hey, this is a safe place. Here's the reality, Principal Hickerson. Some of your students, man, they're gonna soar, they're gonna do great, they're gonna excel. They don't need much. A computer screen can teach them, a robot can teach them. But some of your students, they need that extra love, that extra care. And when they do that, that's how you create a conducive environment for learning, an environment where the students feel like, I feel safe, I feel like I can learn here, I feel like Mr. LeVar likes me, I feel like Mr. Manning got my back, she in my corner, he's in my corner, and then they feel like I can let my guard down, I can be me, and now I'm ready to learn. So that's what I would say do. I would say to really start treating each classroom like an embassy. You know what I'm saying? Like every single student across the country is deals with some type of bullying, some type of drama, some type of toxic stuff at some point in their life. What I need every educator to ask yourself is, when their student comes to my class, do they feel safe? It's beyond science. It's beyond history. It's beyond pre-cal. When they come to your classroom, do they feel safe to learn? Do they feel like they're in an environment where the teacher cares about them, where they're not gonna feel, dumb, or they're not gonna be talked about, they're not gonna be bullied? Do they feel like they're in an environment where they can learn? And so I think that you and everyone else should just be intentional about asking their teachers, hey, what are we doing to make sure that these students feel loved and feel respected and they're willing to learn? So we gotta start having some of those hard conversations on one-on-one, not generic, one-on-one, because again, some of your kids come in, they're gonna grow, they're gonna excel. But you've got some students, they need that undivided attention, and you let them know, I'm here for you. What else can I do? Behind the scenes, when class is over, how can you grasp for this? Is there something else I'm missing? What's going on in your world? They're gonna start feeling safe, they're gonna let that guard down, and that's how you're gonna create a more environment where students are more willing and open to learn. So that's my humble advice, my opinion. I can go on, but I wanna keep it short because I know y'all are ready to get back to classroom, but ask yourself, is my classroom a rest haven? Is my classroom an embassy? Do the kids feel safe when they're inside my care? And I believe that's gonna be some of the things that's gonna shift your classroom culture, and it's gonna shift some things in the hearts of your students. All right, good question. Question number 3, what you got?
Hi Jeremy, I'm Lauren from Lincoln After School Program in Wrigley, California, and my question is, how do I keep my patience with students who are consistently challenging?
Well, how do I keep my patience with students who are consistently challenging? I get it. So I think one thing you have to realize is like, you was once that student. Maybe so, maybe not. I don't know your story, but just remind yourself, like, what, these kids are immature, these kids are goofy. Some of them are very disrespectful. They come from crazy backgrounds. Like, acknowledge that, but then ask yourself, is that gonna stop me from doing what I'm doing? Is that gonna stop me from excelling? Is that gonna stop me from being great? Is that gonna stop me from loving on them? So I think you should go into it with that mindset that says, okay, I'm about to deal with some foolishness. I'm about to deal with some goofiness, some disrespect. I'm about to deal with a lot of distractions. Let me prepare myself mentally mentally for it so that I can navigate these waters. And it's unfortunate, I know you signed up to be an educator, you're running the after school program because you like to teach the kids, but here's the reality, they need something a bit more. So I would say take a moment, collect yourself, collect your thoughts, and say, okay, let me make sure that I don't let my pride kick in, because I've had a lot of teachers be like, these kids ain't gonna disrespect me. I feel you, but now you're going toe to toe, and now it's a big blow up, and the kids is laughing, and they brought you down on their level. When we can do, as our former First Lady said, when they go low, we go high. And so we say, you know what? I'm already dealing with enough stuff in my life. Let me take a minute to breathe. Let me take a minute to calc. Let me remove you from the situation. I'll deal with you in just a moment. Like, you gotta find ways to protect your heart. You gotta find ways to make sure you take care of you and then deal with this student. You might have to clap or count. You might have to step out the classroom and then come back in and say, okay, Roderick, come here. Let's talk about something. Hector, come here. I need to see you real quick. Hey, what's going on, Hector? Just sit right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you might have to count. You might have to say, okay, let me just take a break before I say something I'm gonna regret later because I'm frustrated and angry because you're giving me a hard time. And here's the reality. You show up every single day and you take less and you deal with more stress and drama because you care about them. But you're also human and it can be rough too. So before you snap, take a moment to think, take a moment to count, take a moment to breathe. Take a moment to ask yourself, okay, what are some different ways I can deal with this? Be intentional. And then say, okay, what's the best way to really handle this for me? And what's the best way to handle this for the kid? And then you find that common balance and you go from there. Listen to me, y'all. I was that terror. I was the one that gave teachers like you a hard time, you know what I'm saying? Because I was immature, I was young, and I was dumb, and I was trying to figure things out. But because I had a group of educators who were patient, who would count. I don't know if they was doing yoga. I don't know what they was doing. I don't know if they had a little Kahlua in their coffee or what, but they was cool and they was collective, and I can feel their energy and I can feel that they really cared about me. And I start feeling bad, like, man, I'm giving you a hard time and you show up here to help me. So take some time, think, help these students understand, man, when I act like this is how I'm treating you. Oh, I never really realized I made you feel this way. Like, let them know, hey, you know what, I got a lot going on. And I show up here because I care about you and I love you and I want to help you grow. And when you do this, it makes me feel a certain way. Help me help you. Show me that you're really the leader that I believe you are. Take some time to think, take some time to count, take some time to breathe, and be cautious of what comes out your mouth. Be cautious of the energy you put out, because they trying to figure things out just like you. Okay, thank you for what you do. Thank you for showing up every single day in Reedley, California, dealing with those knucklehead kids. They're gonna thank you later when they grow up and blow up and end up being crazy successful, okay? Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for every single one of you all watching this video. Thank you for taking the time to share the video. It really means so much. I hope that what I've added has breathed a little life into you, that's made you feel a little bit better about what you do every single day. And I hope to see y'all next week for another episode of Next Level Teaching. Peace. Hey, what's up, my people? Look, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and check this out. I've got so many more in store for you. So subscribe and do me a favor. Please leave me a comment, an emoji, a thumbs up, something. Let me know you're feeling it. Me and my team put so much energy, time, and effort into it, and it's free for you. Just let me know you're feeling what we're putting out here, and I'll see y'all real soon. Leave a comment. Peace.